Last time on the Empire's Edge. A grave has been newly dug. Whoever dug this up did not use a shovel. It looks like it was dug up with their hands.
Whoever did this was not caring about the grave that they were disturbing.
Everyone is awakened by somebody yelling, "It's happened again, it's happened again."
Let's just get to the river.
Zelen, it's Ludmilla!
Oh, now I'm pissed.
And you realize again, whatever their timetable was, you've missed it.
We found this piece that we think is from the stairs.
You can see that the ground's been altered and changed. And you can tell that someone has been staking out areas and has been digging up areas around the stair itself.
Do we see any movement, or do we see any, is there any, are we noticing anybody moving around among these tracks?
Just a hooded figure standing in the middle of
No,
the
you don't. No, there's
Red
you
skull.
see no movement there. But just the nature of it, it looks as though somebody would be right here. Go ahead and roll your investigation.
Just Zelen or all of
Oh
us?
no, all of you, as you're like
Ooh.
above right there.
Ooh, yeah.
20.
Dang it. Well, you got two in a row.
Natural 20.
So is that the roll you were saving?
Yeah, no.
Nice, you just used it up.
14.
And you said investigation?
Right. That at first you couldn't tell. It's so burned down that there is what was a fire. There's a campfire that's burned down to about nothing, really not making any smoke, but you can just tell by the occasional little pop. Very subtle noise, nothing that loud. And again, it's still a couple of 100 feet away, maybe close to 300 feet away. Down the line of this ridge, you can see where somebody had a campfire early this morning and let it burn out when, their tea was done or when their breakfast was done. So somebody's living here.
Right.
Do we see any signs of camp or where they would be sleeping?
You do see there is what looks like a makeshift lean-to, but just made out of cloth. It's not a solid structure. Nothing quite so formal as a tent. But again, somebody seems to be living here.
Based on the time of day, would we expect them to still be in that tent, in that lean-to, or how
Oh, it's
late
like 10 in the morning, so you probably wouldn't. Most people are up at the crack of dawn. And
Yeah.
Do we want to try to find the stair that the piece broke off of? Maybe they're somehow coming in and out of that stair, or...
I'd want to secure anything moving around here first.
Okay.
I'd rather not try and experiment with an enemy at the back.
From here, we're still a couple hundred feet away. Can we see basic pathways, directions, or routes taken in and out of here on a regular basis?
No, it looks like down below, you might be able to pick out a trail. Go ahead and roll your survival. But from above, it looks like nobody approaches these stairs from above. It's very rocky. It's rocky going.
That would be an 11 for my survival.
You can't even tell where there's a trail down below, though people walk to this place periodically. It's so infrequent that there isn't a trail to this place. From above, it's just a very steep ridge, rocks protruding from all over the place. It's very steep to the point of being almost cliff-like in spots, but not high, 12, 15 feet, something like that.
Are the grids, are they over holes? Where the grid marks are that we can see, are there holes in the ground?
They're definitely, not deep. 3, 4, maybe 5 feet deep at the most, but they've been excavated down.
I'd like to see what's if there's anything in one of those.
What's the animal noise like around? Are there, the normal birds in the region?
It sounds
Like
normal.
okay.
If you're going to take a listen, if you can hear anything else, that'd be fine.
Call that investigation?
Yes, sir.
12.
You do hear something. It sounds like somebody, very subtly, is scratching at dirt.
I point out that sound to the others.
Coming from your perceptive abilities off to your left,
Okay.
but down over the edge of where it gets very, very steep, almost cliff-like.
Yeah, so kind of sneak over to that edge with trying to like army crawl if need be to avoid breaking the horizon.
You actually couldn't because you're on a steep incline that's angling down.
Oh.
You could go over there, but you might put an avalanche of stones and tree roots or yourself over the edge of this versus where it's not quite so precipitous down to the stairs themselves.
Do you guys want to just take a rock and throw it over this edge and see if we can draw anything out?
That's a thought.
God bless this thy hand grenade. I'm down with it.
I think it's probably safe to assume that whoever's down here is hostile, given why we're here.
We never want to split up. That's always a bad idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, let's not split
Well, see,
up.
Is it technically splitting up if one of us breaks off, kind of like what we did with, that was the practice campaign. But basically, if one of us goes one direction and the other one just kind of flanks, we flank them. It's not splitting up, it's flanking.
Well, when they're down a cliff, it's
Can we run down this cliff? How steep is it?
Well, the cliff, now you could fall over.
run
it.
and fall.
You could fall down it. Okay.
But that's off to your left a good 15 feet. Where you are right now, it would be like walking, the reference doesn't mean anything, very steep, like off the level of our backyard into the creek bottom down below.
Gotcha.
It's very steep. I mean, you can do it. You wouldn't need to roll some kind of a dex or an athletics check or anything. You can do it.
But you're going to kind of walk slide.
Yeah, it's very steep.
Yeah, so let's ready ranged weapons. I'll throw the stone because I have the worst shot as far as ranged attack goes. But you be ready to throw a dart or cast a spell. You be ready to fire an arrow. And,
Where are you aiming for the rock to land so we know where to come up so we're not like...
well, verify where the noise is. I don't want to throw somewhere where it isn't.
I'll listen for it again.
And does he gain advantage for me kind of pointing it
Yes,
out?
certainly. You take advantage on that.
Are we still doing investigation or is it survival?
You could use it as a survival.
15.
Okay, yeah, you can tell the area. It's just 15 feet off to your left, and then down below, out of eyesight, where the hill breaks into a cliff.
So
Verbatim.
I'll try and throw the rock, 20, 25 feet out, in that area.
Though you're not attacking, go ahead and roll it as an attack roll. Use your dex modifier just to toss it into that direction.
Get to that edge to where before it gets to that sheer cliff and have a place to stand and not fall.
You could certainly try or rope off, but it gets pretty steep to the top. It's maybe not quite a 45-degree angle, like a 40, 35-degree incline, and then it drops off.
I think our current spot's the best.
Okay. Oh, you think he's going to pop up and...
Well, I think he's going to go investigate the rock and we're going to get a shot
go ahead and roll.
or he'll see us and try and greet us. I'm assuming it's with proficiency.
Yeah, sure.
You're proficient in rock.
13. Simple weapon, yeah.
Yeah, so you have this rock that's, you didn't really say egg size, something like that,
about.
and just toss it in that direction.
Probably closer to fist, but whatever's
As it
nearby.
goes over, it hits something that sounds a little like it hit a deck, like a platform of some sort. And it goes, and hits that, and a voice says, oh, hello, is there somebody above there?
All the times I was expecting a rock noise.
You didn't hear, ow!
Yeah, that's the
But
important one.
it definitely startled someone.
So it was definitely, I mean, that's a human voice.
Yeah. I'm rather charismatic. Should I take point or do you want to talk?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'll call out and say like, hello, yes. Who's there?
I'm just surprised someone comes above. Are you a hunter?
Yes.
Naturally, yes. I'm out here scoping out for, I know the animals around here. What were they
Mule
again?
deer.
Mule deer.
I'm sure there's plenty around. I'm not a hunter myself. Please, come down. And you know that the next thing that he says makes sense that he'd say it. He says, I'm sure I have enough food to feed the two of us. If you don't mind waiting a little bit, my fire's burned down. I ate not too long ago, but I'd happily make a midday meal for us. Let me just finish my work.
Call it a insight to see if I can gain anything from the way he's speaking, if he's trying to... 4.
He sounds like a pretty legit guy.
Can I also roll it?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
I'm listening too.
Absolutely.
I mean, I might as well.
You might as well. Let's all listen.
17.
11.
Yeah, at 11, again, it sounds like, wow, you'd expect that. Somebody out here by themselves doing whatever he's doing. Somebody shows up unexpectedly. It's proper courtesy to offer that person a meal, a drink, whatever, because it's his camp. At 17, he does sound legit, but it also sounds like maybe he's trying to hide something.
I feel he's trying to hide something.
Come down. Don't come down toward where you tossed the rock down. It's too steep. Come down toward the middle, toward the stairs. It's much safer through there.
And there's the trap.
Yeah, so do the three of us go down?
Do you want to roll that same
Yeah.
perception again?
Perception or insight?
I'm sorry, it's insight.
Okay, now it's my turn. 3.
15.
16.
Always got to one-up me.
On the character sheet, it says whatever Dave rolled plus one.
Yeah, so you always have to 14 up me?
So actually at that, for both Jacob and Zelen, it actually does sound very legitimate that you would not want to go over to that area. You would want to go down through here. Do a survival as you're just looking at the area dead ahead of you.
17.
There's nothing that would be a deadfall. There's nothing that indicates there'd be a place where there's a loose stone that would trip or turn you, throw you over. Zelen, any points of inquiry you could make with your knowledge backgrounds?
Yeah, what I'd like to just observe is, are they using any plants? Have they changed the ground? What are they doing? Yeah. I don't know. Survival, I guess, would be a 10.
Okay, or I think knowledge nature, what you're saying too, if that's any better for you.
No.
There is no knowledge nature. Oh, there is just
there is.
Nature, yes, for your knowledge, whatever
no,
that
that's
is.
not better.
It doesn't look like it. At a place like this, there's very little ground cover. It's mostly just taller trees. There are some shrubs that are indicative to the area or normal to the area, but that all looks just fine. He's found dead pieces of wood, branches, whatnot, and has a stack of it near his fire, but nothing in a natural sense seems out of place.
Do you want to tell him that you've got a couple of friends that...
That's what I'm wondering. Is like, dude, we don't want to split up, but should I go down alone in case there's problems? Then you guys can rush in and get to him.
We don't split up. We all move down.
Just be careful. It is awfully steep.
Athletics check, just kind of examining to see, is there, something I'd guess needed to be moved deliberately, wouldn't, fall in a particular way.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
14.
Yeah, it looks very safe.
And that's down through where we are, not where he's telling us to go.
No, that where he's telling you to go is straight down in front of you, right to the stair. That's the safest way down from where you are.
I think we need to move. I mean, but I think you need to tell him that you've got a couple of friends with you.
Yeah. So without giving numbers, I said we'll head right down.
I might not have enough food for everyone, but we'll make do. Perhaps you have something you can share too. My name's Olaf Lindquist.
Can you spell that for me?
As a matter of fact, I can. Are you asking him to?
All right, so we're heading down. What order?
I love it. Okay.
I think you'd take point as the one actually talking to him.
Yeah.
Zelen, if you want to be in the middle, and then I'll cover the rear in case something comes from behind.
Got it.
My name's Olaf Lindquist. Do a history check, Boris.
Crap. Can I do religion instead?
No, do history.
Priest, is that you?
Give yourself advantage with that as well.
Sweet.
Because it's specific to.
17?
You know the name Lindquist, not specific to this individual, but that is a very, very common name in the duchies up in your region.
So Quint?
Quint and ding dang it. There's too many things.
They got some interesting names for the
I
duchies.
like it.
And ding dang's right in front of me.
They specialize in the production of thingamajigs.
Right.
And who's a what's-its?
In Nordkusk Duchy, which would be like Wisconsin to Michigan, Nordkusk to Quint Duchy.
Yeah.
So in that area. So it's a common name for people well in the north, those northern duchies.
Are you from Quint?
No, I'm from Nordkursk Duchy, but I've been to Quint many, many, many times. Who are you? Why are you here? A number of you, a hunting party. That's a little surprising. I'm a little startled by that. I've been out here working myself for so long. I never expected to have a group of people come out here.
I'm assuming at this point we haven't really stopped moving.
Yeah,
like we've
we're heading down.
Okay, heading down. I didn't even know you started moving yet.
Yeah, and we had our marching order.
So as you come down, you are dislodging some stones, branches, small trees, keeping your footing as you're coming down. And you can tell you're passing where his platform is, continuing further down. And you can tell, I can hear it. And then as you're, I'm sure, watching in his direction, it'd be, increasingly up high on your left, that he's unbuckling a harness, disengaging himself from some sort of climbing apparatus. And you can hear his own feet go like gunk, gunk onto the platform itself, that he was on some sort of a rope and harness system to keep him against a cliff. And he was scratching at something with a hammer, with a digging pick.
I am Boris Kirsanov of Quint Duchy.
Oh, a pleasure. An absolute pleasure to meet you. And again, you can just see the top of his head over the top of this thing as he's still peeling the ropes off of himself on that duchy. To get down to the most level spot, you're right about at the top of the stairs at that point. You go down to that point. That's where his platform's you can see the whole platform from there.
Is he making any moves to come down off of his own platform? Or?
Not yet. He's still disengaging himself from this rope harness he was in.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'd stop to kind of get as rear to get a look at him where he's working. other equipment right there.
Being up that high, to be a bit even where he is on the hill, you couldn't actually see him, just the way the rock and the hill itself curves. You'd have to be down low to actually get a look up there. So you're losing perspective from the one side. That is, you can't see him standing at his full height. You're seeing at this point like his shoulders, top of his head, and the bottom underside of the platform.
Okay.
Is there any way that we can stop so we're resting, so we're on the platform?
No, that's
we've
way
gotta
where the
go
cliff is. That's a good 15 feet to your left.
Down and around, because angles.
So I'd like to stop where it's flat enough that I could have purchase, that I could stand steady.
At that point, you're right at the top of the stairs. It almost looks like the stairs, this black set of stairs. And for the first time you're seeing this, it is impressive. These things are wide, a good 20 feet wide, black, like tourmaline. Maybe it's a marble, black stone that goes the whole way up. Looks ancient and also unusual. There's tree roots near it, down trees, the remains of stumps, and yet this staircase is just pristine, how it's sitting here. But at the very top, there's a level spot that's just grassy, mossy. It just seems out of place, too, that it's right there that way at the top of the stairs. As though if there was a building around it, there should have been a marble deck right here.
I guess I've been confused up in this point about how the stairs work. Are the stairs going up into nothing or down into nothing?
Well, in a way, both. They don't just, they're not just like suspended.
Oh.
They're made into the hillside. So at the bottom of the stairs, there's trees and dirt and rock and whatnot.
I pictured a freestanding staircase.
This whole time,
too.
I just pictured a floating freestanding staircase in the middle of like these rolling hills that just went up and just stopped in midair.
Okay.
Like it was part of a battlement or something.
Yes, okay.
So we have this kind of mossy level spot. I'm going to take a careful look at it to see if does it look natural? Does it look normal? Or does it look like there's something unusual happening here?
Okay, yeah, so go ahead with your nature.
I got the 2 part of the 20.
So a 12?
So it's a 5.
As far as you can tell, it looks like natural mosses that you'd expect to see. If the sunlight hits it periodically, maybe a little bit of grass has sprung up through it as well. But it doesn't seem as though it's only growing because of the magic welling beneath it. There's nothing like that. It's just a mossy spot where the light hits occasionally. So as he's disengaged himself, he's on the platform and finally goes, okay. Oh, I hate wearing that thing. It's so difficult. And I'm not one for heights either. And he's, at this point, a good, 20 feet above where the ground is below him. And that might be another 5 feet above the height where you are, just as the hill continues to drop off to the level where the top of the stairs is.
Can we see him yet?
From about mid-chest up, you can see him. And there's a ladder that goes up to it, a rope ladder.
Armored or in clothing?
Yeah, go ahead and roll that as that would be investigation, I would think, that kind of a detail.
8.
He's definitely in robes, pants, cloak, I meant by that. If he has armor under it, then it's too difficult to tell from this angle.
Mm-hmm.
If he has anything on his legs, you wouldn't be able to know that either. But he says, again, introductions. I'm Olaf Lindquist, and yes, I have come from the north, from the Confederation of Duchies, looking to find what this used to be. The legend of this black staircase has reached far, far into the north, and those of us that have a penchant for study have wondered about it, among other things too, other places all over what had been what we believe was the old Bravis Empire. And I'm here gathering information. So you said your name was Boris, and he's looking to the three of you. I'm assuming, looking at you, Zelen, that you're not Boris.
I'm Boris.
Again, a pleasure. Another Northman. It's nice to see a friendly face. And you are?
Jacob Treadstone of Grian.
Oh, wonderful. And that's the town just to our north?
West.
Okay, west.
And I'm Zelen at Har, also from Grian.
Oh, a pleasure.
I'm going to make an insight check. I want to see if I can gauge his reaction to not just 3 strangers showing up out of nowhere, but 3 armored and armed strangers showing up out of nowhere, because I am in chainmail.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that perception.
Dressed like a
Rocks at him.
soldier. 15.
He seems to be a little unnerved by this, that this was definitely what he expected. He says, just a moment. Allow me to secure my ladder better at the top, and I'll come down. Perhaps one of you could hold the base of the ladder so it won't wobble as much. It's a frightening thing. And he disappears from sight completely for just a moment.
I'll hold the ladder. because I'm the least. You guys could take him out faster than I could.
No, that's why I should. So
Okay.
I'm right there at him. I've also.
Yeah, he's the melee guy. We can attack from a distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we're changing up our marching order. Then I'll head down the stairs, go around to where he is, support the ladder as he's coming down.
Okay, so you don't need to actually go down the ladder any further. You're actually walking
Down the stairs.
back. I meant stairs. You're not heading down the stairs. From the level where you are at the top of the stairs, to get to his platform, you're just going further as you're facing up the stairs to the right, up a little bit, and then the cliff goes up from there. So both Jacob and Zelen are standing in that mossy area,
Yep.
and Boris is going up the slight incline, and from the position of facing up the hill, off to the right.
Mm-hmm.
He's heading up that way to hold that. At this moment, Olaf leans around and fires a crossbow down into the group.
Yeah, I figured.
Asshole.
So where we? Is this a nits? Or are we holding round?
He's taking a surprise action.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, so we don't get to roll anything?
No, he's just rolling an attack roll. See who
Okay.
he's firing on.
And he's firing on Zelen.
Jerk.
she does look the most threatening of the group.
I think she had the highest number of kills in the practice game.
It's true.
And misses really, really well. Shoots overhead. But he also uses like part of his movement to duck back so he has cover behind his actual platform itself. So he pops out, he's in view, shoots, and then he came back into that cover. And
All right, so if we move against the wall, he'll have a harder time hitting us.
all right,
True.
counting him down, better than 20?
Nope.
20, 19, 18, 17? What do you guys got?
I'm at 16. Oh,
Okay, so,
my dex is
I'm at 7.
okay.
+4.
My dex is +2, so I think you're up
Yeah.
first.
All right, so Jacob,
Unless you
go
want to
ahead.
hold until... Well, unless you want me to go first, so then I can try and flush him out.
Yes, in a way. I'm going to take my move first and try and see if I can't trace back up the hill just a little bit to see if I can get a good vantage point. So that way,
Right.
when he reappears to potentially fire again or to in any way react to what Boris is about to do, I'll be in a position where I can see him and he won't expect me to be on that side.
It'll be slowing up, so you'll be moving it about half to go back up that, so you can gauge that. That'll put you about even where he is, but again, once you go back up the way you came down, he's out of your sight. You can't see the platform from that
There was
angle.
no point where I could see him at all or any part of the platform.
Not until you guys
Oh,
are much down lower.
Gotcha. In which case, I'll hold around and let Boris go first.
Okay.
So I'm going to move, try to ascend the ladder. My objective is to get to the top, get a hold of him, and try and... I'm guessing there's a railing? Yeah, he has to be ducking behind something. Or is he just ducking behind
He's ducking
rock
by
face?
the edge of the platform from you guys down
Okay,
below.
so it's just
The platform
spatial
cover.
logistics, yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I'm trying to ascend to the top, then get a hold of him, pitch him over the side.
Yes.
Okay, so just moving to the base of the ladder would be about half your move,
Mm-hmm.
and then up the ladder, what's your move?
30 feet.
All right, so you'll be about halfway up this ladder. Do an athletics check. You can just go up that ladder that easily, that quickly.
Okay.
Are you proficient in ladders?
It's a rope ladder. So
I'm
it's-
proficient in athletics.
Oh,
Yeah, so go make the athletics check.
8.
It's a little slower going than what you would have thought, the way the thing twists and moves. So you're about a quarter of the ladder instead of halfway up the ladder.
All right.
I can throw flame.
And she
Please
yelled,
don't at the rope ladder I'm
Not at
standing
the
on.
rope ladder, but like
about to
up
look at-
over the...
Zelen yells, I can throw flame.
I was about to look at you and make a suggestion, but as soon as I looked over, I can throw flame. That's an idea too, okay?
I'll burn the forest down. Jacob, you're
Well,
up.
I will burn his platform.
Jacob, you're up.
My
F the trees, says the druid.
I will hold round waiting, like with a arrow knocked, waiting for him to show himself.
You can see him just a bit. He doesn't have total cover. You could take a shot if you wanted to give it a
With
try.
with disadvantage, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would you assume that? Don't assume that.
All right, I will take the shot. Well, yeah. They
Yeah, you
both
should have held
sucked.
that.
Yeah.
So arrow either sticks into the platform. We'll say that arrow sticks into the platform.
Well, hold on. Does a 9 hit?
No. It actually does not. Down to 7. Zelen, what are you doing?
I'm producing flame and I'm throwing a mini fireball up on the platform.
Was that a standard attack roll, or was that a range attack? Or is
Range
it your spell
is
attack?
self.
You produce it, then you
On
throw
yourself
it.
and throw
Oh.
it. What I'm asking, is that a spell attack? You roll an attack roll and have your spell attack?
I can also hurl the flame within 30 feet of me. Range spell attack.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So
Sorry.
you have the spell attack number on your sheet somewhere. You're rolling a d20 and adding that number to it.
Unnatural 20.
Jeez.
So a modified 20?
Modified 20.
A dirty 20.
A natural 20. It's a mutant 20. It's a Formorian 20.
Xavier School 20.
Crit.
It hit him. Roll your damage. Does he get a save?
On hit, target takes 1d8.
And does he get a saving throw?
Nope. On a hit, target takes 1d8 fire damage.
So no save is listed.
Not that I typed down.
Victor is going to look it up right now.
It does not allow a save.
Okay.
I'm going to type that in right now.
He is. And so how much damage did you... It was just a
1
straight
point.
D8 and there's no D8 plus a thing?
It's just 1d8 fire damage.
Okay. Taken. It brushes his shoulder. Looks fairly minimal.
I wonder if the platform caught.
No, it brushed his shoulder. It would have had to miss the platform to hit him.
All right, that's
might
all.
have hit
Oh, can I
more.
do something else? That's all I get on,
That's it.
on my turn.
You've
right?
got a move and a bonus action if you can do anything with those.
Okay, so I'll move to run up towards where Jacob ran, so I can get a better shot at him.
I didn't actually move. There was no actual place on the pathway down that we could actually see him.
Yeah, your best movement would be to find cover if you want to move from where you currently
Okay,
are.
well then
Or to
I'm
hold
going
the
to
ladder
back
to
up
give him
against the
advantage on
wall
his climb checks.
to make it harder for him to hit me.
So that's still moving back up the hill. So moving up toward like the cliff face is moving in the direction that Boris went to be what's tantamount to underneath of the platform.
That's what I want to do.
Okay, moving underneath the platform. Got
Are
it.
you helping me with the ladder or?
Sure, I'll help you with the ladder.
Sweet.
So you run to the base of the ladder so you
To
can
hold the ladder,
hold
to
the
hold it
ladder
steady,
so
yeah.
you can ascend it better.
Thank you for the hint, Boris.
Oh, my pleasure.
Okay, I said that first, but no
Yeah,
one
but I
was
said it
listening.
louder.
I was just as loud as everyone else, but everyone was also
I'm
talking.
pretty sure that he could actually mute your voice if he wants to in that one.
Yeah, only in the recording, though, not in your ears.
So that on one, he again leans out from around there, and he is spell casting.
Oh, nice.
Sure wish I had held my round.
Right?
Yeah.
It's almost like rolling with disadvantage is a bad thing, especially
It's
when
almost
you
like
wait
that's
to
what I originally
bean him.
said, but someone talked me out of it.
Who?
So
Why would you
Zoe,
trust the DM
you could
ever?
do what's like a knowledge arcana to see if you can determine what the spell itself actually is being cast.
Can I attempt a religion for the same?
You're focused on this as you are. I don't think you'd be looking up to... You can't even see him on the platform.
I could hear him, though.
As you're under it.
You could absolutely understand the religious mechanics of this rope ladder.
I can hear his hand moving.
6.
Well, the incantations.
Roll your religion. On a 6. No, you recognize from above as he's moving his hands and he's saying something that he's casting, but you don't recognize what the spell
14.
itself actually is.
Kalima.
He's speaking a version of Bravis, which is the common language, the language you're all talking. But it sounds different. Words are wrong, and you suspect, but you're not sure, that it's actually what people often refer to as Old Bravis, like the Bravis from that empire, that
Neat. Okay.
older language. Good.
Yeah, I keep in my head that he's speaking in the old speech. What does magic? Is it also dragons, or
No,
is this
no.
one elves?
Neither. Yeah, that's a spoiler. Neither one. Choosing a target. Since the two of you are more or less out of his range or out of
I'm
his
just
eyesight
standing
at the
here,
moment,
like, looking
you're
around like,
standing there,
"Where's
you just launched an arrow at him that he's doing this on you. What is your armor class?
16.
So a bolt of light energy, not from his crossbow, but from his hand, races down toward you, goes right over your shoulder, just off your one ear, and goes wham, and hits a stone behind you. And
My
impacts...
guy, are you trying to hit us? Because I'm starting to think otherwise.
Oh, Olaf, does this mean that lunch is off the table?
Yeah, right.
And you could tell
You Northerners and your weird rituals of how to say hi.
And just so you know, Jacob, it did 46 damage to the rock behind you.
Hey.
Yeah, no, I'm glad it's not just us that can't hit for shit.
I know. Luckily, on that one, I was nervous about that he'd have that.
Are we done firing warning shots? Because I might try and hit you.
I brandish my weapon before I toss it away. I'm about to roll a 1 on your ass.
Who needs these boots?
That was a reference to a different game where a character had magical boots they chose not to wear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Once the spell is launched, he launches attack, he again leans around the corner of what he's doing. Boris, you get a sneaking feeling that he's turning a knife onto the rope where it attaches at the top of the rope.
What a dick.
Well, hey, luckily you now no longer have disadvantage.
New and knit.
Or just
Jacob,
the top of the round.
You're up.
I am going to hold my round until he pops out again.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and
Boris?
athletics, well, if I didn't have disadvantages, just a DC, so now
It's just a
athletics
bad roll.
with advantage because Zellen's holding the thing.
I think Atlantis. I should now speak in old Bravis at you.
Roll Atlanta.
It's awfully big.
My name is Boris, not Sherman.
Ow.
We might need to edit that
Too
out.
soon.
That was the Civil War.
Too soon. It's without advantage. It's a straight up roll because she's holding the rope, the rope ladder at the bottom that keeps it stable. So it's put you back to even numbers. So just roll your athletics.
Okay, there we go. Modified 20. Unnatural 20.
Dirty.
I rolled a Fomorian 20.
Yeah.
Yes, you achieve the platform itself, which is very small. And he is very startled as he goes, dunk, and right when you get up there, he's cut the rope on one of the things. So the rope is now more like, a rope ladder is more like just a rope hanging down there. It'd be difficult to descend, and you could see you wouldn't want to ascend this single rope right now.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to try and throw him over the side.
What is a yeet roll in 5e?
Yeah, right?
I don't know.
It's just opposing strength checks.
Okay, so opposing strength checks, and I'm not trying to, pin him. I'm just trying to lever him off the edge of the platform.
Okay, and I'm sure he would try to do the same for you. So it's it's even up on that. I would
Except
say
it's not his round, so he can suck it.
those opposed strength checks, that would be, you're rolling that with your that's proficiency as well. Or
If you're
without?
proficient in, or is that a strength saving throw I'm thinking of? It's just your straight up D20
Just
plus
straight
your
up,
strength.
so strength, so whatever that is. Okay, let's roll it, Boris.
All right.
Unless you're proficient in grappling.
20 modified.
12.
All right, yeah.
And over the side he goes.
So he goes over the side. As he falls, it's a little weird. He falls, you can tell there is magic going on. He hits the ground and then just stands himself back up again.
Thanks, Boris.
I was holding my round until he was visible.
He's visible too. That is Boris. They're both in proximity
Oh,
up
wait,
there.
Boris fell with him?
No. But
Okay.
Boris...
Shoot the guy. He's trying to confuse you again because he's
I'm firing him.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you miss, Boris is right up there too.
No,
He threw him off the edge.
Oh, once he hits. Got it. I thought you were trying to shoot him when Boris
He
had him up
smacks the
there.
ground, gets back up. I'm like, no. And just like firing at him.
Okay, fire.
There we go. 22.
22. Was that a natural or an unnatural 22?
It was, believe it or not, an unnatural 22.
You hit him.
6 points of damage.
Taken. Boris, you notice that his crossbow is still sitting up there. So he lost the crossbow when all of that happened. So he looks very largely disarmed at this point.
He's gasping spells. He's not
Until he
disarmed
does not have arms.
Yeah, no. Until I've broken all of his fingers and cut out his tongue, he can still do stupid shit.
So I have a cantrip for Shillelagh. Do I have to wait for my turn to cast it?
It just gives you
Yes, but it's
a
your
bonus action.
It's your
on
turn right now, Zell.
Okay, so I'm casting Shillelagh.
And I'm smacking him with my magic stick.
And then I'm going to smack him with my
Magic stick.
club.
Okay.
Magic club.
Magic club.
Very
And
elite club.
You're right.
How do I know if I have any pluses on that?
You should have already stats for your club itself
And then it gets the benefit
of
of
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh.
So I guess it's just a straight 17.
No. Because you have a strength, definitely. You should have proficiency too. So your proficiency is a +2. And what's your strength?
And I'll look...
Strength is +2.
Okay, so you're +4. And then your Shillelagh, the spell itself gives you.
Well, you've got proficiency with clubs. So...
We already said that.
Oh, okay, sorry. My turn for that then.
Then it's an unnatural 23.
Always one-upping me.
You definitely... That's right, it did. Then you definitely hit. And again, you're rolling a D8 damage instead. And what are the pluses on that with that spell? Or would it be her regular...
It's magical, and it does a D8 plus whatever her casting
8
ability.
points.
Is that total, or did you just roll that?
No,
I
she
just rolled an 8.
So
Okay, so...
Oh, yeah.
So add your wisdom modifier to the damage roll?
Then it's a 12.
Jeez.
It's a 12.
Nice. 12 points of damage.
Solid.
That's terrifying.
Right?
But at so low
That
level,
it took
she
me
hits
so
it.
long to figure out what to attack the guy. He's
That
standing there filing his nails. Whenever you're ready, babe.
You're really slowly swinging this club at him. He's just like, man.
Okay, Olaf
She often
pulls
go into slow
a
motion.
dagger and he attacks you with it.
Okay.
Considering his crossbow is up there.
Yep. What do I do? Am I supposed
You
to roll
tell me your
something?
armor
No.
class.
Oh, 14.
Hits you. And you take?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's about
You
to-
take 6 points of damage.
Okay, so that's more than half my hit points, just so you guys know to come and help me.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
And
that we take damage.
Jacob, you're up.
Oh, firing at him again.
I love how you fire right in party. I have such old school roots for that one that he is right next to Zelen.
Well, actually, I would argue if Zelem's holding the ladder and he's just fallen off, I am now technically flanking him because we are on two opposing sides.
You're not. No, you're not. Just go and your attack.
I would argue. 9.
Misses.
Yeah. I would
Boris.
take my movement to flank him now to try and give Zelen some sort of a bonus.
Understood.
Distract him and scream at him.
Okay, shooting jazz hands. Got it.
All right. I'm going to attempt athletics to drop safely off of the platform. It's how high a platform?
20 feet high.
Okay. A third intermission to see how.
Tuck and roll.
Well,
Hits
it
a
used
rock.
to be make a jump check or a tumble check to reduce height dropped.
I don't want to hear it.
There is still the one side of the rope ladder that's still there, and all of the rest of the rope ladder that's collapsed is still hanging as part of that.
Yeah, could you just
So
slide
there
down
is, do like a fireman's pole down that modified. So you'd still be going down very, very fast, and maybe a little bit of damage when you hit at the bottom.
I was trying to search how to avoid fall damage 5e, but as I typed
Don't
how to
trip.
avoid. Well, yeah, when I typed how to avoid fall, Google autocompleted as how to avoid falling in love with a jerk.
Learn something about you today, David.
Also a good skill.
That's more wisdom than than strength. So yeah, I'm gonna try and climb down on the intact side.
Climb down or kind of slide down?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so
I'm not sure there's a huge
The
amount of
fastest
difference.
let's
way
do
you can
that.
get
That's
down.
not going to be, I think acrobatics makes more sense for that one than would athletics alone.
Neat, but I'm better at athletics.
I know. So go ahead and roll your
Yeah.
acrobatics.
3.
You take 6 points of damage in your controlled fall down the rope.
All right, how much did the guy he landed on take?
Thankfully, no one is underneath or right there. They're not right at the base of the ladder.
Screw you, planet.
I was going to say, I think that's one way to avoid fall damage, is landing on something squishy, like a
Zelen,
magic caster.
Zelen, you're up.
Can I use any remaining portion of move to stand?
Yes,
Cool. I stand.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to hit him with my shillelagh again.
go for it. What did David roll last time?
12 plus,
I rolled a 9.
spell attack modifier, right?
Right.
So that's an 18.
Hits.
6 plus something plus wisdom, it's a 10.
Jeez.
And he goes over backward.
Nice.
Did we kill him?
Well, he could be unconscious, but he looks like he is non-combative at this moment. So he's just completely gone out flat.
Gotcha. I'll take the rope out of my bag and tie him up.
He's a wizard or a magic user. Is the
Okay,
rope
so I
gonna
break
hold
his
him?
fingers too? Put a gag in?
I mean, seriously. what
I'll
else?
I'll tie up his hands behind his back, and then I'll put another smaller piece of rope around him. Or,
Okay.
Is there any way that you could, Boris, you could check him for like magical items? Like if you did your, search bad things?
I pat him down.
My sense reveals the presence of unnatural creatures. It doesn't discern for magic. Aside from conventional investigation, I wouldn't know. Let's check him to see if he's actually unconscious or if he's dying.
Dead.
Well, Jacob, roll a dexterity as you're tying him up, how good your knots are.
Gotcha.
I'll attempt a medicine check, but that's not my area.
19.
You're very successful. You are working on tying this guy up, and you say to Zelen, I think you might have jogged his memory a little too hard. He does not seem like he's going to be ambulatory anytime soon. Go ahead and make your medical check, Zelen.
12 on medicine.
Oh, even with your 12, you're like, oh yeah, This guy's dead.
Okay, yeah.
Notice
he's dead. Okay.
Notice the big crunch in spot in his skull. Yeah, he is definitely dead.
Okay.
And that doesn't stop most wrestlers.
Yeah, I'm not feeling badly. So, okay, do we think his body's trapped? Or do you think we can check
Cursed,
to see what else is, like what's in his pockets and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to do that, just do it. You don't have to ask everybody else. Just
I
do
take
it.
my
wanna
rope
know
back
what their
because I
opinion
wasted a
is.
good knot on this asshole.
This guy's just a jerk the
And
whole
as I
time.
recall, sometimes you struggle with that.
I rolled a great roll and I wasted it on
As you
tying up a dead body.
As you put your knee on his chest to secure that rope, the air comes out of his lungs and he says, "Nice knot."
Prick.
Yeah, no,
Okay, I rolled a 7 on my investigation.
He has the stuff in his pockets you'd expect to find.
He has stuff in your pockets.
Really, he's a sleight of hand.
Which one of you cowards shit my pants?
Yeah, I was about to make that joke, but that's the danger of fighting a wizard. They can shit your pants.
Flint and steel from a tinder box. A little piece of bread is stuck into one pocket. You probably pull out just to nibble on it while he's up there working. He says like dirt, little bits of stone, as though he's been chipping away at something and put some pieces into his pockets. But beyond that, no.
Crunchy dirt bread.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Okay.
he has different pockets.
All the minerals you could need.
All right, so what do you guys want to do? You want to go up there and examine?
Well, we're not interrogating his body.
Yeah, right. I think
Hey, maybe I should do a little healing hands or whatever I can do to make.
Oh, yeah, help. Yeah. Who took damage?
everybody but you.
Yeah. I knew that. I just wanted to ask that question.
And just because I'm curious, David, had that thing he launched at you actually hit? Just for the sake of argument.
We'd learn how to roll death saves.
Yeah, right.
16 points of damage.
Yeah, that would have knocked me to -3.
Yeah.
Yeah, was lethal.
Mighty tasty.
Good thing he's a suck shot.
Worse than you, yeah.
Literally, rolled a 1.
Honestly,
Now, his spell attack modifier is +7, but he rolled a 1.
It's too bad with that one, it didn't blow up in his face.
right.
Yeah. Ah.
Well, especially because that would have also been in my face, so I'm glad it didn't.
So can I
Well-
do medicine on myself to like heal me, or does that not work
It
that way?
doesn't heal you. No, you're diagnosing disease. You're stabilizing someone that was
Okay,
otherwise
so
bleeding.
I have a cure wounds. It's 1d8 plus spellcaster modifier of regained hit points.
That might be a bit overkill.
Yeah, there's nothing else attacking you at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I have lay on hands, which would heal 5 of my lost 6, but I'm gonna put a pin in that until.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
down to 5 hit points, just so we're all aware.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 12, 1 to 10, how are you feeling?
1 to 11.
Okay.
I'm feeling like I have less than half my hit points. That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Well, worst thing, you can always cast a healing spell on yourself in
Boris,
combat.
roll a listen.
You can?
Yeah.
Jacob,
Yes.
roll a listen.
Nice.
So
by listen,
while
you-
Zelen is like, oh, my wounds, and she's binding herself up, just making sure that she's okay and trying to decide what she wants to do.
18.
11.
On that 18, you can tell that there is something bipedal somewhere further down the hill, further, coming maybe 300, 400 feet. You don't see anything through the trees yet, but something is moving at a flat run up the hill through the trees. Something's running like it's has like unlimited strength. Just a
So we've got incoming,
And it's getting
possible
louder.
hostile,
I cast Entangle.
man-sized?
you don't see the foe yet, and
Oh.
the way the sounds are coming from, you're not even sure where the sounds are. You're looking at yourself.
Man-sized?
Yes, you would figure from what you're saying that it seems man-sized, and then it comes into view. It looks like something not even alive. It looks like something came right out of a grave, and it is running up this hillside.
Neat.
I fire at it.
Roll it.
Back from whence you came. 22.
Hits.
6.
You all note that as this arrow sticks into the sky at that distance, and it's still a good distance away, that it didn't even pause, didn't have a moment's hesitation, didn't bring a hand to go, hurty. It just kept on running, just trucking toward you as though it
It's-
didn't even care.
Down the stair, or is it further around kind of the lip of this, like, canyon or depression?
It's straight down the stair, the direction that most people, when they come to the stair, coming from anywhere down the hill, it would funnel in the direction of the stair. So not at the base of the stair level, well below that, coming up toward the stair.
Okay,
Gotcha.
I'm going to use my action to heal myself, and then I'm going to move so I'm like a stair or two down and creating a choke point.
Is there another way for it to get up to the level we are at aside from using these stairs?
It would be a lot more difficult over that kind of terrain. The most natural place to go for anyone like rushing up to, if this guy's supposed to be protecting Olaf, would be right up these stairs.
Well, he's fired.
Would be the natural
Well,
would
yeah,
be the
'cause
natural
his charge
direction.
got
Okay.
melted.
Yeah.
So you do move, Boris.
Yes, and
Boris is near, just down a few stairs from the top of the stairs. Anything coming up has got to go like right through or past Boris. Any other actions?
How close is it to us at this point?
It's probably about 100 feet away.
Okay. So I can't cast Entangle yet.
Anything other maneuvers? So in the next round, it's running up. It's actually on the stairs at this point, and it is running up the staircase.
So,
It'll be at Boris at the bottom of this round.
so as it's coming towards us, I'll take another shot at it.
Take it.
Dirty 16.
Hits.
11 points of damage.
Taken.
All right, I am holding action until I can intercept and engage.
I'm
I
gonna,
will take a few steps back to not be in the path of this freight train.
I'm gonna throw a dart.
Throw it. 32.
Natural 600.
If only.
13.
Hits.
This guy's easier to hit. I like that.
All right.
6.
Taken.
Could you imagine a magic item that lets you roll attack rolls as a D100 instead of a D20?
Imagine still missing, though, and how defeated you'd feel.
Boris, you and he are meeting at that point. You're both getting an attack on each other.
And I smash him with a hammer.
Hopefully.
He's using his hand.
Yeah, I figured. 16.
19.
Oh, he hits. Good for him. I'm going to kill him for that.
You hit him too.
Yeah, I hoped so. If a 13 hit. 6.
Got it. And he does 6 to you as well.
Dick. Well, that's why we heal up.
Gotcha.
And hang on one second. I need to roll a thing.
Oh, crap. I hate it when he does that.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
No, I'm good with that.
You want us to roll proper nits?
Proper knit rolls.
Oh,
Seconded.
I'm rolling like a... Oh.
I rolled a 2.
Hey, he rolled a 1, you rolled a 2, I rolled a 3.
So, as
we start tap dancing, waiting
this,
for the...
this monstrous thing
I
is
paused to
swinging his hand
contemplate.
at Boris, everyone else takes out a cigarette, a pipe,
exactly.
Yeah, no,
loads it.
All of
can
us at the
get
same
one
time have
more
the same
row.
thought, like, they got this, and we all think this.
Yeah, no. I got a mild concussion, so I'm justified.
That's right. I just fell off that platform.
And then I got hit in the head.
So at 19,
Jeez, yeah.
Oh,
it
good for him.
attacks you, Boris.
He actually rolled a 20, but he's at a -1.
Your armor class
18.
misses you.
Yeah, take
So
that.
its hand slaps against you. It seems strong for what it is.
Yeah, I felt it when he hit me.
It also seems, well, you're very aware of it. It is a dead and rotting thing that is fighting with you right now. You've never heard anything like this, seen anything like this before.
If I had a smite, I'd smite, but no smite have I.
No smite have you. All right, 3, whoever the 3 person
Yeah,
was.
7 when it was...
Yeah,
added
I'm
the
going
modifier.
at 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's the wrong thing. I'm going to fire another arrow at him.
Him being the zombie.
Yes, that one. Yeah. Well, I said another. I haven't fired anything at you. 21.
Hits.
Cool. 9 points of damage.
Taken.
God. Wouldn't you love to have this many health points?
Okay, I'm at 2.
You should have a modifier too.
Yeah,
right?
you rolled a
your
2, then you
Initiative
add
should
your
be somewhere at the
your
top.
dex
add your
modifier.
dex.
Dex modifier.
It should be initiative.
So I'm 5.
There you go.
Okay.
So Boris, I think you're up, you said? Oh, you're at 3.
I'm at 3,
All right,
yeah.
Zelen, you're at 5. Go.
Yeah, we've got 7, 5, 3.
Oh, I'm going to throw another dart.
19, 7, 5, 3.
Yeah.
Why'd you have to roll that extra 10 there?
For me?
16.
Hits.
I mean, if you have to roll a 1, it's good to roll a 1 on initiative.
Honestly, yeah.
5 points of damage.
Oh, shit, he's going to blow up.
Oh, he collapsed on that one.
Have I not killed both of these things? Y'all need to step up.
I literally did. That's my job.
I would argue that I did the majority of the damage this time.
Yeah, you did. You did a lot of damage to it.
You kill stealer. Oh, you guys don't do anything. Yeah.
So
I'll just stand back and let him hit you next time.
this thing was
All 4 of your hit points.
once it takes damage, it would bring it down to 0. It makes a Constitution saving throw that's 5 plus its the damage that would have delivered it to that point. And if it makes that, it's at 1 instead. So he made that like twice in a row, I think, and then failed on the last one. So you did damage enough, Jacob, to have killed it a little while ago. It's just that he said, nope,
He's just
undead thing.
Pile of cheating, chunky vomit.
Yeah, right. But he collapses and rolls down a few stairs and then is laying their face up.
So wait a minute. Shouldn't we set them on fire or something? I mean, do these things just
That sounds
die?
more like your forte.
Or potentially my forte
Yeah,
with
so-
religion knowledge.
Oh, I was just
gonna-
saying more the arsonist that we have with us.
Oh, yeah, true.
As people are contemplating that, let's do a perception first.
Okay, I'll just use that then. 17.
That
And
perception,
19.
you notice that there is, like in this tattered kind of clothing, a couple of you have picked up on this, both Jacob and Boris, that in his tattered like rags he's wearing his clothing, there is on his collar a symbol that looks like a chevron, like a military symbol.
Ew.
That's weird.
Yeah, okay, so
Is
first...
the clothing a uniform? Can you tell if it's a uniform?
Well, first things first, a 19 on religion to see if there's any other additional process to
Who do you work
keep
for?
dead guy dead.
In your religion, you never heard of anything like this. So your religion would say something about taking him to an actual priest, having him put into some kind of a blessed
Yeah.
grave, something to contain him. So yes, you know ritual to do this, but out
I'm
here,
the best we got.
you're missing a church and all that kind
What
of
about
stuff.
a 16 on Arcana that I would know something about? I would have heard or know something about this.
Forbidden magic.
Is he? Yeah, is he going to come back to life? Do we need to
You
burn this
believe
sucker?
that there are different stones that when they're assembled and magicked the right way, that they could either reconstitute something like this or actually prevent that reconstitution. But you don't have those things here, but you know that exists.
Is one of those stones black tourmaline?
So I share that information with them.
Okay.
That's a
You know what's a
like
dying
we
really
question.
good way to avoid that is lighting it on fire.
Seems
So-
like we just have to let it be for now. Maybe dismember it.
As you've all noted that you've recognized this chevron, anyone that has any history, could roll that knowledge of that history roll you have. That's an intelligence roll otherwise.
17.
21, not 19.
All right.
5.
5. Jacob says, yeah, the chevron's pointy. At the
I am
one edge.
super pleased I rolled well because it would suck as local soldier to not know military stuff.
Right, I agree.
Just saying, Chevron's got the best gas prices. Like, who are you?
Boris, you recognize that chevron as being a private in the barony of Vlekveld.
If this is a rank, he's a private in Blackveld.
Or he
Wh-
was.
Which is the barony to the north of Bolengard, which is like 2 baronies north of where you are.
Your comment's like, well, he was.
Yeah.
What?
I thought we had... I double check her alignment. She is good, right?
I was like, yeah, as far as that goes, it's like, I mean, he's not technically still a is he? Like,
Yeah, I think you retain your rank when you die. I know.
I know that
All right,
posthumously
well, all I'm
they
saying is
will
I think we
level
should
up-
burn this body.
Yes, that's,
They will promote George Washington to make him the highest ranking military
they
officer.
did. Yeah,
Right,
they
yeah.
did, yeah.
He's the only 6-star general.
They level him up.
Permanently. But beyond that,
Yep.
so Zelen just said, I think we should burn this
I think
body.
we should burn this body.
Yeah. Do we want to search its pockets for anything?
Yes, I think you should.
Yeah, close for my various gods TV there, bud.
Yeah, I will. I'll take one of my arrows to avoid like touching it and like just like prod around with it to try and see if I can get anything out of its pockets.
Well, it's obviously very gross, and no, there's nothing worth getting in his pockets. You have all the information out of this thing you could possibly get.
Light it up.
Anybody have any heavy, choppy items? I don't want to try and dismember him with a hammer.
I have a short sword.
It's better than a hammer.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
I have clippers.
neat.
Okay, she just volunteered. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
She could give him a
I'm just-
manicure.
I'm just setting the sucker on fire.
Yeah,
making me
I'm
search
saying
the
let's
body.
dismember it first.
Okay.
So that way, if anything
Do we
unusual
want to
happens.
burn it on the stairs, or are we going to try?
Well,
and
I was
move it?
figuring, cut a chunk off, yeet, and then we just
There is a fire circle where this guy had his camp.
At the bottom of the
Yeah,
stairs.
but that's for cooking things.
Okay, just saying.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll just
you will be cooking this thing.
we'll just we'll cut off bits and push them off the side of the.
You guys are really sick.
I play D&D to play evil characters because I find being a bastard cathartic.
Yeah, so-
You're the one making me be a paladin.
We're creating a pile of body bits at the bottom of the stairs.
Cool.
Also, I've read your milieu. I know what happens with fire. I'm cheating a little because I'm scared.
Okay. Yeah.
Got it.
So there's your pile of dismembered bits.
After a while, you hack the thing apart.
Yep.
Someone makes a point to walk over, and while they're hacking him up, you walk over to where Olaf's camp is, where he seems to be living, sleeping, and you find a couple of jars of oil,
Sweet.
about 10 ounces each.
Awesome. I also push Olaf into the pile of dead body bits.
Oh, you're going to burn Olaf too?
Why not? He's the one that's most likely to probably turn into something. He's a fresh body.
Fair point.
All right, so you've made a cordwood body parts, gathered whatever wood there is around there, and you make this Viking funeral without the boat and without the water.
Better than he deserves.
All right, so he's definitely on the stairs itself, so the rest of the woods doesn't catch fire, and they're both burning at this point.
Okay.
What do you guys go and search?
I want to go up to where that platform is.
Yeah, I think that's a point to start. I would make a point of saying the appropriate funerary prayers for my faith. Just, he may be trying to kill us, but, the undead thing was once a man, and he has rights as a human.
Good. Yeah, we'll make note of that. And you feel pleased with yourself that you did, even though the guy was trying to kill you and distasteful, that you're living to the ideals of your own religion.
Yeah. He's a dick, but he deserves the after still.
Gotcha. Yeah, let's go look at his dig site.
Yeah, let's start with the platform and then work our way down.
So even before you try to get back up that platform to see where he was excavating up there, it would mean somebody scaling that rope and retying that knot. But just down here, his own stuff is he has a bunch of gear in his camp down here. Anybody want to go through that first?
Yes.
Yeah, which one is nearer, the platform or his campsite and the digs surrounding?
His own campsite and the digs. That'd be easier to get to than.
Search the bottom then. First.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So numerous sites, and just at a cursory glance, some of these sites were only inches deep, 5-6 inches deep, and some taper as steps further down into the hole till they got to a certain point, and you could tell where there was a stone or a something lifted out of it. And then as you're looking around, you can see just on the one side of the base of the stairs, there is a number of objects and artifacts that are just lined up. And it wouldn't take much to determine, oh yeah, this one must come out of that hole, because you can still see the shape of the thing you lifted out.
Right.
As though he somehow had the abilities to dig down specifically to a thing.
Do I recognize my grandmother's hummingbird?
No one has searched for that yet, but no,
Okay.
you don't see that anywhere out and obvious where these things are lined up.
How far away was this from the actual stairs itself?
Various. Yeah, there's different
okay.
dig sites all over the place right here. These stones that he has excavated are lined up just at the base of the stairs off to the right-hand side.
Does anyone have that corner of black tourmaline that brought us here?
Yes. Or one of us does.
One of us does.
Mind if I take that and I want to go look at the stairs itself? To
So
see if I
you
can
have it
find
now,
where
Jacob.
Okay, so I'll go to investigate the stairs, see if I can figure out exactly if it came from the stairs and where it would have come from.
I want to go check out his camp. I want to see what.
Try and find a journal or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay, sure.
yeah, just anything.
Jacob first. You do find the spot. It's the third stair up where he was lining stuff alongside of it. It looks like he might have taken a moment or two just to knock the corner off of this for some reason, who knows why. But all of his stuff is lined up. The stones he's excavated are right in proximity to where that chip of that stair, and it fits perfectly. It definitely came from that spot. This is where this guy was, where he's been excavating.
So we've confirmed that, and I'll head back up to the group and share that.
And actually, it's down. They're right at the base of the stairs where.
Yeah, we're staying
where
at
his
the
camp
base.
We've
is.
gone
Investigating.
downstairs.
Yes, you've gone down the stairs.
Gotcha.
I'm examining the stones he's been removing from these pits to see if there's like a consistent shape, like if he's excavating bricks or flagstones, if they're irregular rocks.
It seems to be a variety of things. Some look like broken pieces of statuary, but you do notice on a number of them there are symbols that you would say is a language, and if he's piecing something together, it almost looks as though he is actually trying to make a sentence out of all these things.
Huh. Yeah, my languages are common and celestial. I'm not sure how much help I'm going to be in that field.
Probably not a lot, unless he's taking notes in his journal.
Right.
Yeah, which I now have because I was in the camp.
And at this point, I think everyone is in the camp, because the camp, the base of the stairs, the excavation sites, they're all in the same area.
Does religion, if you roll religion, does it give you any ability to check the journal to see if it's gonna burn me?
Magically trapped.
I would start with, if you're for actual investigation, to do that as investigation. Okay. If you want to check if it's in kind of a magical trap, you could look at religion, or you could try arcana, or cast a spell that does that sort of thing.
I'm going to start with investigation first, just before I pick it up and start handling it, to make sure that it's safe. And I have no freaking idea. Is this a book? Does anybody recognize it?
What did you roll?
I rolled a 1.
I've never seen a book before.
Plus 3 makes it a 4.
Is that what y'all call a monograph?
So it sounds as though you just picked the book, kind of flipped through it, and then handed it to either Boris or Jacob.
I'm going to hand it to Boris.
I don't
Jacob lives in the same village I did.
I don't.
We went to the same school.
Well, you're the educated one?
Yeah, and I'm just educated to hit and pray. I'm no wizard.
Yeah, but you're kind of like a 4%er, not a 2%er, but you're up there.
I'm only mostly covered in shit, not completely covered.
All right, so you're working on your investigation.
Yeah, neat, can do. Can I investigate with my muscles? Because that's a much better plus. Coming out your nose there, David?
Shut up.
Just a little bit.
All right, investigation. I, too, have heard of these mythic books.
You guys are
please.
I would love to see this.
Okay, so Jacob now has the book.
Come on, Jacob.
Yeah,
Son of a...
so we have no idea whether or not this thing we've been passing around is trapped or contagious or anything like that.
All right, so
rolled a 6.
So someone just needs to be bold. I bet you there's information in here.
All right.
So someone needs to be bold and just say, I'm just going to open and start reading this thing.
I thought that's what we were rolling. I thought we were just...
No. We were seeing if it was trapped because we're all a bunch of cowards.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll grab it and open it up. I assume somebody else can heal me if I get pasted.
Arrow knocked?
You're ready to shoot him if he starts screaming?
Nothing goes boom. So it's just a...
Yeah, I wasn't worried about meat boom. I was worried about brain boom.
Gotcha.
Oh...
Okay, so he's safe, so now we're all going to go and start looking to see what's inside the
book. So Boris is holding it, the two of you right alongside
over
him.
his shoulders.
Every once in a while, you kind of cock an ear just to make sure you don't hear something running through the trees and the leaves.
All out to
full
deck
pace
me
toward you, yeah. But that's not happening.
Give a
Occasionally, Jacob
headbutt.
throws some more wood on the fire to make sure that he's burning nicely. You smell roasted pork for a little bit, and then it turns into just burnt.
Well,
you're like, bacon? Oh, no.
Yeah, no, it was...
Didn't know we were fighting
moldy
pigs.
bacon first.
And then just bacon, and then...
Well, he was a pig. He attacked Zelen.
Yeah. Chauvinist.
All right.
The first thing you read, just opening this, is what's tantamount to a mission statement. Oh. It does seem as though the language is inverted, as though this person spoke a different language typically. So someone actually do an investigation roll to put the pieces together on this language. And you're all right there. You can all roll it. You're looking over each other's shoulders to see this. I think Boris is actually holding the book.
11.
12.
Natural 20.
All right.
Nice.
Thank God.
22.
So where...
I passed the book to him.
Whereas Rizellen and Boris are like, I think that the syntax would imply that if we go to this word first... And then Jacob points over their shoulders. It says right there, and pop, 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 he just reads the words right out. That Olaf was sent here by someone named Sylvain Vidborg, and he's referenced as the man that gates in. The line actually reads that Sylvain has sent him here, and it says he must communicate the information that he's discovered to Sylvain Vidborg the next time he gates in. And with the reference to that, it looks as though Olaf was here to gain artifacts. He's been scouring this area and the adjacent areas, that'd be as far away as your own home, for different artifacts that came from what they believe to be Old Bravis, because they're searching for some knowledge in it, but then completely by surprise, even to Olaf himself, he discovered something, a source of power, a source of knowledge that seemed so extreme, it wasn't even what he was looking for. But he's indicating that it could be a game changer, that it could move Votric's timetable up, and that's another name that's been put into this thing, whoever Votric is, and that he's asking for additional resources in men, supplies, teams to take over this area, but he's got to get the information out to Sylvain as fast as he can so Votric knows, so Votric can set these wheels into motion. It appears at this point that no one outside of Olaf knows whatever this information is.
Neat. Glad we destroyed him.
Who was doing the gating in? It was
Sylvain gates
Sylvain.
in. Votric is in charge.
So it seems like the term gate is used as a verb. Does anyone know what it means to gate?
Well, it implies magical travel of some kind.
And
Magical
Jacob,
person, do you know
you
what that
do
is?
recall that there was, you learned from Zellen's cat that there was a man that was there and he sunk into the ground.
Right.
And that there was an area of like burned or wilted grass right where the spot is
Oh,
that
yeah.
that her cat said was the spot where that had happened.
You remember when Brightkiss told us about the man in the grass?
The man that's sank into the ground. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Brightkiss might have been into the grass too long too.
The catnip.
All right. So so there's something powerful here, and they're talking about taking out the whole region. We killed the guy who knows what it is, but could all those stones, if they have symbols on them, should we try to destroy them?
That was my thought as well. I was going to examine them first.
I have a detect magic spell.
Let's make sure we check through the rest of the journal and make sure we have everything.
Okay.
All right, so as you read through this, and again, you're taking out his notes, sifting through his notes. There's sketches, maps. He's putting different symbols together. You see that some of these symbols are the same as the ones that are on these stones that he has lined up. And as you're reading through this, he has a mention of a place that he calls Hevo Senken, Hevo, new word, Senken, is how he's written it. Hevo Senken. Jacob, go ahead and roll either history or investigation, whichever one works better for you.
Gotcha. They are both equally bad. 13 for investigation.
No, that's good. That you can recall that a man that used to hike and go rangering with had once referred to a place that he simultaneously called it Hevo. And so the name just sticks out in your head. It's like, wow, that's, I know a name like that. But then he'd also call this place the Horseshoe. And you don't know if that's what this guy's referring to, but you do know there's a place. It's a waterfall that's deeper into the Bravas Hills that's referred to as the Horseshoe.
Gotcha. Yeah, share that with you guys.
Why is that in the journal? What was he mentioning about that?
It looks as though this is in some way connected to this other source of power, this thing he never expected to find.
Do I remember roughly an area where it would be located?
Go ahead and roll your memory. That'd be intelligence.
Natural 20.
Oh, very nice. You do.
Yay.
It is southeast and a good distance, a number of days' journey further into the Brimroar Hills.
Gotcha. So we came east to get here. So this one, roughly in relation to Grian, would it be kind of south
Further
of that? Or
east
just,
and southeast.
Gotcha. Okay. So almost directly south from where we are currently.
I say
No, more east. It is.
Further
Yes.
further away from
Much
us.
more east and south.
So Jacob, in this book, are the symbols being translated? I mean, is this a translation key? Is that what it looks like?
From what I was able to gain, yes, it seems like this is how you're supposed to read the book. Yeah.
Do you think we can keep those pages out, the translation key, and burn the rest? Because I don't want anybody finding this and realizing that he found something powerful.
Agreed.
It would also stand to reason then, just so as you're putting this together, that the symbols that he's been translating are the symbols on those stones that are right over there against the base of the stairs.
Right.
So
Give
those
me a second.
artifacts are there too.
I'm going to make an investigation check to gauge their general strength and sturdiness.
The stones?
The stones. 15.
They're all broken pieces from something else. Some of them with your hammer you could pulverize fairly easily. Some of them are much more substantial chunks of rock.
Yeah.
What is it? What do they say? The way he has them lined up, what do they say?
So a good one investigation.
Is anybody helping me investigate?
Hey, look over there. You see that thing right there? Yes.
Can
Go
I
ahead
do it
and
with
roll
advantage?
advantage. That's fine.
Well, you're the one with the journal, so you're probably pointing things
All
out.
right,
and
so that's a
using what-
natural 20. A 23 unnaturally.
Nice.
Wow.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that assist, Jacob.
Yeah, just
And thank
three
you-
natural
thank you for
20s that I've
helping me
helped
kill the
bring into the world.
monsters.
It's
Yeah.
a good thing your fingernail pointed right at that spot there. Without going into an exact translation, you believe that his Olaf has been putting 2 and 2 together, and as each time he gets a new piece of information, he's adding a new one. And what he has determined through this is that he recognized there was power in stone, and he was looking for stones that had a certain power, that when stones were combined with other stones in a particular way, that they could reconstitute people. And he seems working on getting the right stones to reconstitute, maybe even doing many experiments on that, but definitely trying to find out. They believe that this old Bravis people had greater knowledge of this, but then it makes a leap. There's an intuitive leap where there is some other source of power they weren't expecting that wasn't just part of these stones. It would be as though they're like, you know what, I think if I've discovered an outlet in the wall, and if I plug things into it, it might work. And yet somehow there's a clue in that said, oh, there's nuclear power. It's just completely different. But he happened to get to this other source of power as he's been doing these excavations, these geological
I think we need
excavations
to
for stone.
destroy as much of this as possible before
Agreed.
anything gates in. Do you agree, Jacob?
And the end of that is that this place, whatever he's referring to as the horseshoe, whatever that is, seems to be the place that is either the next clue, the next step. Once he had his reinforcements and additional staff and teams that he was going to be asking for support with, that's where he would go.
Is there any, how far into his journal have we read so far? Is there
I
still
think
more to come?
You're back and forth through, but you've gone through the entire
Yeah.
thing.
Okay,
Jacob, remove the pages relevant to the stones and then burn the journal. I'm going to start smashing the stones. So, two-handed swings, pulverizing what I can. If I need an anvil, the stairs seem suitable enough.
Okay, so then after it'd take you, 20 minutes, half an hour.
Mhm.
You've crunched these things up enough that you don't believe that anyone else will be able to put these things back together again to get any information from them.
I'm going to go for another 10.
Okay,
And
so
really pulverize them
you
all.
turn stuff into dust. It is really pulverized. So all the artifacts you had there are at least completely defaced, where any image on it or symbol on it has been completely chipped off.
During that half an hour that we have of him destroying all the stones, I guess we could take a closer look to see if we find any more remnants of things from Korean, like the
Good idea.
like your grandmother's
Hummingbird.
hummingbird. Yeah.
And you search for that time and you don't. It seems as though those items were selected and were indicated as being something already possessing some sort of a power, and that they were taken to wherever Sylvain is or Vatrick. Boris, this would be you again, and the last point for today. Go ahead and roll your knowledge of history. I know it's not your strong suit, but
13.
you again recognize when you think about Sylvain Vidborg, I know that name. And you actually do know that name specifically. That Sylvain Vidborg is from Nordkust. That is the barony that is right adjacent to Quint, where you come from. And that is the name of the Baron of Kentat. That there is a baron right now in the Confederation of Duchies whose name is Sylvain Vidborg.
We've got powerful enemies. Let's strip this camp of food and any other useful supplies and start making our trail for the horseshoe.
Thank you for listening to The Empire's Edge. My husband, Matt, our DM, created this game based on his novel An Evil Before. If you like our story, explore it at mattsinkovich.com. That's MATTSINCEVICH.com or theempiresedge.com. And remember to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Empire's Edge.